Hello, my friends. Here we are on Easter Island, which is, I don't know, I think it's somewhere off of the coast of Chile or Chile. And these things weigh like 14 tons. And if a ton is 2,000 pounds, these are 28,000 pounds. That's big. That's a lot. Okay. So all I know is that they're all sitting here around me while I'm trying to do this Revit tip. And I think they're interested in Revit also. Go figure. Okay. Today's Revit tip is from a request I had. See, you guys can put requests for videos down in the comments below and I'll respond to them. This one comes from a guy who says, how do you organize the sheets, not the views into groups, but the sheets into groups? And I said, well, you know what? I guess I haven't made a video on that. It's fairly straightforward, but some people don't know how. So I'm going to do it right now. All right, let me share my screen. I'm going to share my screen with you. And here we go. All right. So what we've got here, friends, is in your project, I know you've got sheets, okay? And often the organization of the sheets is based on the first letter of the sheet, okay? So what I'm gonna do is show you guys, I'm gonna show you something. In fact, watch this. I'm gonna go to, here's my sheets. You guys see my sheets right here? I am going to right click on the word sheets, because you've got views, legends, schedules, and there's your sheets. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to browser organization of my sheets. I'm going to set it to all. Okay. My sheets are set to all. And when I say okay, then we look at the sheets. It lists every single sheet in alphanumeric order. It puts the A's first. Well, it actually put this dash first. I put a dash, and this view right here that you're looking at with my logo and a little bit, design something great today. I've got this just as my starting view that pops up every single time. And you guys can set your own starting view that pops up first thing right in your face. And if you want to. But I have that sheet. This is just a sheet, okay? And so that has a dash. So a dash will go to the top of the list. I think a little squiggly, a tilde squiggly goes to the top of the list also, but whatever. Typically the sheets have like A100, and I'm gonna go down further. Look at this, FP for fire protection, G for cover sheets, I, interiors, L, landscaping. If you're a structural engineer, you'll have S's in there. If you're civil, you'll have C's in there. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing is MPE. All these sheets start with that first letter, and they're going to group according to that. But there's a way to put them into little packets of the discipline. You can put them in groups. And all you have to do is, I'm going to right click on the word sheets again, and go back to browser organization. I'm going to get rid of this one that I just made a minute ago. This one called sheet discipline. Okay. I'm going to highlight it and hit, can I hit delete? Is there any way to hit delete on this? Rename, edit. What if I set it to that? There. If I set it with the checkbox to all, which is how it's organized, but I highlighted one of the others and I'm going to hit delete. Sheet discipline, are you serious? Yes, I'm done. So you can make your own organizational schemes. So this one right here, if I check that box, these sheets are based on who drew them. Okay, I'll say okay. So there's the author. Okay, this is grouped based on the author. And let's just say, well, watch this. I'm going to go to the first floor plan. I'm going to open up the first floor plan. Okay, so this is my first floor plan. I'm gonna move my face out of the way. And if I come over here and it says, look, it's drawn by author. Well, what if I change that to Mike? So it's drawn by Mike, okay? Now there is over here 2 groups. One is just author, plain old author, and one is Mike. Mike did the first floor. Well, if Mike did the second floor also, I could set that. So I can go back to author. I can go back down to the second floor, okay? And expand it. I'm going to click on second floor and change this also to Mike. So Mike did the first floor and the second floor. Just saying, okay? And now when I come back over here, look, Mike, it has first floor and second floor. So you can put them in the order of who drew them. Most firms don't do that, but you could. So I'm going to right click on Sheets again and go to Browser Organization and move my face out of the way. You can set it on issue date and it'll pull the issue date and put them in groups of the issue date. Sheet prefix, okay? You can set some further parameters inside this. The sheet prefix is like the A, the G, the C. Watch this, sheet prefix. If I go to edit that, let's take a look. The grouping, the grouping and sorting, the sheet number is the leading characters number, the one leading character that's in the name is of the sheet number is going to cause the groups, the one letter, so or number, okay? And it's in ascending order. So I'm going to say, okay. So we're going to set it on sheet. Now look at this. But it puts it in groups based on the first letter. So all the A's are going to be under this A. See what? Wait for it. Boom. See the A sheets. And now the F sheets are under that, FP, and the G sheets are under that, interiors are under I, and the landscaping is under L. And again, there would be a C in here if I had civil sheets, and an S if I had structural. PM and E would be in there also. So that's great and all, but the question that came to me was, how do I put them in groups based on the discipline? Well, what we need to do is have a parameter associated with sheets so that we can use that parameter to organize the sheets, okay? So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to Manage. I'm going to click on Project Parameters. And I'm going to scroll down here. And I'm going to get rid of this one called Sheet Discipline that I made a few minutes ago. So look, remove. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, so this is where you might be. I'm going to hit OK. So if you go to Manage and you click on Project Parameters, you'd like a parameter in this project that doesn't exist. We are going to hit the Add button right here at the top right of this dialog box. Add. We're going to add a parameter. The parameter is just a project parameter. We've got to give it a name. And I think Sheet Discipline, or yeah, discipline, sheet discipline. Now you got to quickly change the type of parameter from a length up to text so that you can type whatever you want. Okay. On it, it's an instance parameter because every single sheet needs to have a sheet discipline assigned to it. So now you're just going to leave it on instance. And you're going to scroll down to and check sheets. Okay. Now, don't worry, you can't accidentally put it on a type parameter and then scroll down and put it on sheets, because you'll notice that sheets doesn't come up as one of the categories here if you switch it to a type parameter. Okay. I'm just saying. So leave it as an instance parameter, come down here and check sheets. That's all you have to do. So what we just we created a new parameter called sheet discipline, okay? We changed its parameter type to a text parameter so we could type what we want, leave it as an instance, and check the box here for the category of sheets. And when I say okay, it asks me if I want to put some values in it. And then I say, no, whatever, okay? Would you like, I'm just saying cancel that, okay? Because I don't need to add predefined discipline in them all. You could do that if you wanted to put the word architecture in, it'll push that to all of them, and then they have to be changed from that. So that could speed you up if that's what you wanted. But I hit cancel because I didn't want to put any predefined. I'm going to leave them all blank. I have to fill them in. Okay, so here we go. Now that that parameter is in the project, it's there, sheet discipline. I'm going to say, okay, but it's not being used yet by any of the sheets because I just made it. So if I go to, I'm just going to go to watch this, A101, get my face out of the way. I'm going to A101, and when I look over here, okay, the floor plan, I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to see A101. I'm going to scroll down. I'm looking for, wait for it. What am I doing? Oh, I don't have to expand it. Look at this, the sheet itself right there, okay? I look over here and it says sheet, there it is, sheet discipline. Well, this one should be architecture, okay? Architecture. So far, there's only one sheet that has a sheet discipline set, that parameter set to architecture. I'm going to go ahead and set the second floor also, just to show you. You just click on the sheet, okay? And you come over here. And now that I've used architecture, I can use the drop down to go to architecture and switch it. I'm going to do a couple more just to show you something else. You can click here, and with control, you can pick some more sheets if you want. And I could set the next three of these. Look at this. I'll set those three. All three of them are selected. And so on the drop down, I can set them all to architecture at once. Bam, a lot faster, okay? You can actually pick one and hold down shift way at the bottom. And that's going to push all these sheets to architecture. Watch. Bam, all of them. Okay. And I would do that for each of the disciplines. And I want to show you what happens when I'm going to go click on look at this, fire protection. What's the sheet discipline? I'm going to write fire protection. Fire protection. Okay. So that one's set. And if I go here to the G sheets, I can highlight those three. Okay. And I'm going to write general over here. General, that's the discipline of those. Okay. So those three all got general. Whoops. Yep. 1, 2, 3. They all got general. Now I'm going to leave a couple undesignated. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay. So if I come back over here and I right click on sheets, browser organization, and then I move my face out of the way, I don't have a scheme here that will organize them based on the sheet discipline. I've made the parameter and I've assigned some of the sheets, not all of them, but some of them to the new parameter, but I'm not organizing the sheets yet using that parameter. And that's where I'm going right now. I'm going to hit the button for new. And when I click on new, it puts the dialog box behind my face. That was tricky. I actually didn't know where it went there for a second. Okay, so the new browser organization for the scheme, I'm going to call it sheet discipline. Discipline. Man, that's a tough word to spell when you're in a hurry. Sheet discipline. Okay, so take a look. It pops up, the properties of this sheet discipline pop up. I don't want to filter anything out or in. I just want all the sheets listed, but I'm going to have grouping and sorting. Look at this. I'm going to group all the sheets based on, wait for it, here's the drop down, sheet discipline. I'm going to use all the characters. I could use the first leading character. No, all the characters, okay? And then look, I'm just going to put an ascending order. So when I say okay, I'm going to check the box for that's the one I want to use. And when I hit okay, take a look over on the left. Bam! Any sheets that are set to architecture are going to be under the architecture dropdown. Any that are assigned to fire protection are going to be under that. And as I create sheets, all I have to do is set that parameter of sheet discipline to whatever group it needs to be in, and it'll go into that group. The general ones are under The G sheets are all under general. But this was a question also that this guy was asking me. He says, why are there question marks? What's going on with question marks? Whenever there's a parameter that you are using to sort things by, and a sheet doesn't have that parameter set yet, it's blank still, you're going to get question marks. It basically tells you that there's a parameter being used to organize this, but it hasn't been filled in yet. So here we go. I'm going to expand the question marks, okay? And it tells me all the different sheets that are here, so that are stuck in this limbo waiting zone. Well, I'm going to go to the landscape sheet, and I am going to change its discipline to landscape, okay? And as soon as I enter it, it gives it a category over here instantly and moves that sheet into that category. I mean, it's like instant. So now I only have two left. I have an interior sheet. I'm going to highlight that. And I'm going to come over here and say interiors. Okay. So all my interior, my interior designers are going to put their sheets. They're going to set the sheet discipline to interiors for all their sheets. And now that I have set it, boom, it creates a category and puts that sheet in the category. I only have one left. It's my starting view, the starting view that pops up first every time when I start the project. Incidentally, well, if I want to get rid of those question marks, I have to create a sheet discipline for this. So you know what my sheet discipline is going to be for this? I'm just going to write start. If I want, okay, start. And it puts my starting view into start. And it shoves it down at the bottom because S is the lowest here. But if I want to, I could set that sheet discipline to the letter Z if I want to. And it'll shoot to the bottom and just be Z, so it's out of the way. I could set it to a dash. You can set that discipline, the sheet discipline, to whatever you want. I'm going to set it to a dash, okay? And then it shoots to the top. So now I don't have any question marks. I have a line item, an actual group called dash. And if I want to get rid of that completely, I would go to filtering. Now I'm going to go right click and I'm going to say browser organization, move my face again. Under sheet discipline, look at this. I'm going to go to edit. Now I'm using sorting and grouping by the sheet discipline, all the characters. But on filtering, wouldn't that be cool if I filtered this so that I didn't have that minus in there at all? So look at this. I'm going to filter by the sheet discipline. If it does not equal, wait for it, the minus, then it stays. Do you get that? This is what stays over here in your sheets. And what's going to go is anything that doesn't fit this filter. And so the filter, anything that stays cannot equal the minus. That sounds good to me. And when I hit OK and OK again, my minus sign, the sheet, that is gone. So I don't have to give it a Z, or I don't have to give it a dash or the word start. If I don't even want it to list, I put it into the discipline and tell it, don't even show it. You saw that, how that works? That's pretty cool, huh? If you want to find that sheet because you really need it, well, then you can just change your browser organization to all if you want to, and it'll come popping right back in so that you can find it. And then you can switch your browser organization back to sheet discipline and it goes away. All right, it's kind of fun. So I just wanted to show you guys. I know most of you already know how to do this, but putting your sheets into categories helps keep things organized. And I am a big proponent of keeping things organized, because if new people join the team, you don't want to have to explain to them where things are and how things work. If it's organized really well, like this is now, you'll have no issues. And that person that joins the team should be able to jump right in and just start working first day. All right. All right. So I'm going to hit stop sharing, come back to you here on Easter Island, and I'm going to wish you a fantastic day. I hope you're having a good one, and get out there and design something great today. And until we meet again, happy Reviting. Bye-bye.